And we'll ask Brad to lead us.
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Let's do roll call. Let's see, we have Brad.
Here.
Commissioner Stetz.
Here.
Commissioner Hope.
Here.
Commissioner Knutson is joining us online, and I'm Commissioner Scott. First item of business will be approving the minutes from the July 12th, 2023 meeting. Is there any comments or questions on those?
Looks great. Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's do roll call. Commissioner Stetz,
Approve.
Commissioner Knutson,
Yes.
Commissioner Scott, I approve. Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
and Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to the rezones for Rex Hale. We'll turn the time over to staff.
Trish Duclos, presenting REZ 2023-060. This is a rezone request for, is currently an RR5 zone, which is rural residential 5-acre minimum, to an MG, which is manufacturing general. There's two parcels that the applicant is requesting to change. They're located right there by the landfill, on the corner of SR 36 and Old Bower Road. If you remember, not too long ago, last year sometime, the applicant also rezoned that little corner already. And then at the time, when he was asked if he wanted to rezone all of it, he wasn't prepared to do all the properties at that time. So now he's coming back before us to do the other two that are around there. And that's pretty much the reason for this. There's really not any foreseen plans for these properties yet. But in that zone, our general plan does address that area as general manufacturing. We obviously don't want any residential areas there anyway, so. Any other questions?
This is the one that he did last year and
Yes.
put for storage,
Yeah.
for like trailer parking. Okay,
For
he's
boats
just
and
adding on.
Yep, he's just rezoning the rest of those, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Any questions for Trish?
Okay.
Yeah, does this become a public hearing? It does not say on the agenda.
Yes, it needs to be.
Okay,
So move to open public hearing.
second, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we open the public hearing. If you would like to comment on this, we ask that you just direct your comments to the motion at hand. When you come to the podium, please state your name for the records.
Anybody online? So Madam Chairman, seeing none, I move that we close public hearing.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing has closed. Any other comments, any questions for the landowner? Are we prepared to hear a motion on this?
So we are approving, right? Not recommending? We're
We're
recommending.
recommending for county council, correct?
Correct. Are you ready to receive the motion?
I am.
So Madam Chairman, I move that we recommend for approval, where'd it go? REZ 2023-060. And the following recommendations, the planning staff recommends that Tooele County Planning Commission that we've analyzed, and we have proposed rezone request prior to making recommendation to the county council to rezone the subject property from R5 residential to M6 manufacturing general. And to be clear, there's no more recommendations. I don't see any.
It's MG.
MG, manufacturing general.
Yep, and there's no other like zoning conditions or anything that we propose.
Okay, I just didn't see any because it went right in the map, so I was like,
Right.
I'm cut off. Okay, then that's my proposal.
Okay, we have a motion. Can I
Or
have a
motion, rather.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hope, second by Commissioner Bartholomew. Let's do roll call. Commissioner Knutson,
Yes.
Commissioner Stetz,
Yes.
I vote yes. Commissioner Bartholomew
Yes.
and Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. We recommend this for the county council's approval. Next item of business is MU 42 MGEX. This is a rezone 2023-076. Trish?
Yeah, so we have Trish Duclos presenting REZ 2023-076. This is a rezone request. The applicant wishes to rezone two different zones for properties here. The first parcel at the north end, and this is kind of in the same area as the last rezone, just west of it actually. You go past the landfill, it's just right there off to the west of it. So same plan as the general plan in that area, general manufacturing. But if you see around that area, there's a large area rezoned already to MGEX, and so the applicant is wishing to expand on that portion. If you can look at the map, if you have it, that yellow portion at the top, that's what he's requesting as MGEX for a future gravel pit. And then the rest of it is just gonna be general manufacturing, MG. There's no like proposed uses at this time. The applicant does wish to just build out as necessary, whoever wants them, so he'll carve off like 5-acre pieces or something, or larger to whoever those need it, and just be able to have that rezone for them already. If they do wish to come in for uses. There is a traffic school, a trucking school, kind of right there on the corner already, and they were found to be in violation of the zoning, because they're kind of a split zone, so they just wanted to make it all around even, so they're not in trouble with zoning, so that was part of the reason for the NG zone there too, so. Any other questions on that? Applicant is here if you need to talk to him.
He is?
Yeah, Randy Hunt.
Oh,
Here behind.
Randy Hunt. Sorry, I thought I was looking for Randy Young.
Yeah, me too at first.
Sorry.
And there is a very detailed traffic study he did provide, and so the uses that he's proposing does bring in significant traffic to that area, and we would require that the roads and stuff be put in as developments come in, so.
I have a question. A year ago when we approved the part of the previous Rex Hales,
Yes.
we talked about the road's going to come off of 36,
Mhm.
right where you go down to the jail and extend through there. What's the plans for that? How does that play into the traffic study?
It's the same road, right? Same access road?
Yeah, you'll
Not
have to
yet.
come off of Old Bower and go around, but,
That road is on our master
yeah.
transportation plan. It was scheduled for construction in 2018, 2019.
that.
Going through the process with the railroad, we're, still don't have a date, how's that?
Okay. All right.
But it's already a valid, approved access road.
It is,
Okay.
there are other
Right,
roads that are priority prior to the construction of this particular road. If an applicant came in and were to build along that road, they would be required to construct a portion of that road.
Okay.
Right, but this is not applicable to.
No,
Right.
it's just.
No,
All right. Any other questions for staff?
So move to open public hearing.
Second, we have a motion and a second to open public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing, again, if you have comments or questions and on this, please come to the podium, state your name, and the floor is yours.
Anybody online? Wonderful. Well, Madam Chairman, seeing none, I move to close public hearing.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to close public hearing. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public hearing has closed. Is there any questions for the landowner, the applicant, or for staff? It seems like, it just kind of goes right along with what should have been there.
Well, it's already fitting because what's already around there.
Right, we probably missed it in the general plan because we might have had a little bit to look over.
So, are you ready to accept the motion?
I am.
So I move to submit a recommendation for approval, REZ 2023-076. And there are no staff recommendations except that we analyze the proposed rezone, which we have, so it'll stand.
I make a second. I have a motion and a second. A motion by Commissioner Hope, second by Commissioner Scott. We'll do roll call. Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Stetz,
Yes.
Commissioner Knutson.
Yes.
I vote yes. Commissioner Hope.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We will recommend that for approval to the county council. Next item on our agenda is a conditional use permit, CUP 2023-064. And we will turn this over to Trish, I think. She's a one-man band, right?
Okay,
I can't find it.
Trish Duclos presenting CUP 2023-064. This is a conditional use permit for a daycare in Stansbury. The applicant is requesting just to do a home daycare. And with that daycare, they're allowed to use the home as well as outside during certain times of the day. And daycares are regulated by the state. They're just required to go through our CUP process. So if you look through the application and stuff, there's a list of conditions that these are they're state codes, so we can't do anything with those, just so you know. But we can add a couple of conditions of our own if you feel that's necessary. So on top of the state conditions, planning staff just recommends that there will be no on-street parking. So all employees or people that are there for the daycare for a period of time, they have to park in the driveway, and the driveway does provide sufficient off-street parking for those things.
So on that, that's not considering drop off and pick up, right?
No, yeah, so
Okay.
if they're just coming and going, I would say hours at a time. If they're gonna be there working or staying for long periods, then they'll just have to be off the street is all. And then, I know I forwarded this to you, but I'll just bring it up. So we did receive a neighborhood response from a neighbor. They are worried about some nuisances that could exist, such as noise. And they're here tonight, so they can expand on their public hearing portion of that at that time. So planning staff just during the analysis of this is that building, fire, and health departments have already approved this, as well as the state licensing for all of this. So we're the only ones left before they can get their business license and begin operations. So planning staff recommendation is just that we approve the CUP with conditions that the applicant abides by all state requirements and regulations, and also abides by Tooele County conditions listed in the application.
Thank you.
On the application, does it say how many employees they're anticipating having and how many children in daycare?
It is listed in there. The applicant is here too, so if they want. Yeah.
16, and that is the state limit, correct?
Yeah, that's the state
Okay.
limits, but
That's what I thought.
yeah, in their application it said 16 max too, so they'll have to have at least 2 employees, because it's 8 kids per employee, and then no 2 under 2 years of age. They can't have more than 2 under 2
Okay,
for one kid, for one adult. So yeah, and those are all state regulations, like I said. So, and the state's already approved their.
I saw her license for family daycare, so that's. Any other questions for Trish? I move that we open public hearing. We have a motion and a second to open public hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, if you have questions or comments on this agenda or on this item, please come up to podium and state your name and also write it on the clipboard for record. Please keep your comments brief and try not to say something that's already been said.
You want my name here?
Yes, please. And also state it for the public record.
You need to add her.
Yes, please.
Okay, my name is Robert Nichols. I live directly behind the property in question with my partner, John Osterberg. He's here. And I wasn't really going to speak at this meeting. I just kind of wanted to see, you know, what was going on and see if you brought up any issues. Like, I've been online trying to find if there's any kind of rules, regulations, anything to do with noise. And basically all I find is that you can't do anything about the noise. Your only right is to move if you don't like it. And I've been here for 20 years, and I would never move next to a school, next to a daycare center, next to a playground, and yet now I'm forced to live next to one. And I'm really okay with it, basically. The whole idea of a daycare doesn't bother me. I believe in, you know, live and let live. I treat all my neighbors good. It's a nice neighborhood. And I'd just like some kind of assurance that there's some kind of policy or provision where something can be done if it just gets out of hand, because this isn't a huge backyard, and I can't imagine 16 kids just running around there. You know, I don't know how many hours they'll be outside, how many hours they'll be inside. And I just want to know, do I have any recourse if it just becomes intolerable? Because I have read online people that say it's just, you know, it could become a real nuisance. And I would just like some assurance from the people that are going to run it that they'll try to keep the sound down as much as they can. And I'm not saying it has to be quiet, because we have other kids in the neighborhood, and you know, and it doesn't bother me. I like kids, I just don't like a lot of noise. And let's see, I had one other thing, it just slipped my mind. Anyway, what are the rules or the recourses for a neighbor if they just feel like it's getting out of hand?
There is noise ordinances, and they're in effect within certain hours, and you can file a complaint with them.
Like after what, 6 p.m.?
I believe the noise ordinance is 7 to 10, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
So basically, if you like to garden in the afternoon, you might just have to put up with the sound of 16 kids running wild in the backyard. I mean, that's basically it, correct?
That's the noise ordinances.
That's the law.
Yeah.
So anyway, I heard the noise a few weeks ago, and I got up my ladder and I went up to the fence and I said, "Hi, neighbor," and I don't know if it was you or your sister. It was both of us. Anyway, she said hi back, and I just said, you know, with as much noise as your kids are making right now, can you imagine how loud that would be with 16 kids? And she basically said, I don't know. And then she said, it's the middle of the day. Like, what are you complaining about? We can be as loud as we want in the middle of the day. And I just kind of thought, well, that's not a very good answer. And then she said, you stay on your side of the fence, we'll stay on ours. And you mind your business, we'll mind our business. And my last comment was, well, I can see what kind of people you are. And I left, and I
Do
just
you have
want.
any other comments that pertain to the application?
No,
Not personal grievances?
no,
Okay.
I would just like to know there's something that a landowner can do that's been there for 20 years, just to keep the peace, the quiet of the neighborhood.
There is laws, and it's in the noise ordinances, but I do believe it's 6 a.m. through 10 p.m. So before those hours and after it,
6 to 10 p.m.
7 a.m. to 10 p.m. There is no noise
It's a
ordinance.
pretty big space.
So,
Okay.
all right.
Well, okay. I had a feeling me speaking would have no effect on it, but I just wanted to express it, and that I have no grievances against you, and I hope if you get it, it goes well and everything, but I just hope that you can make an effort to keep the sound down if it gets way out of hand. That's the only problem I have with it.
You don't live there.
Thank you for your comments.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other comments or questions? Hi. Please write your name and address down and state your name for the record.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Danny Moreno. I live in the house. I own the house that we're having the daycare at. Sorry, 1 second.
No problem.
Okay. So we're going to be operating from 6 to 5:30. So the first hour of every day will be outside of, I guess, in the noise ordinance restriction. It's going to be mostly, obviously, just drop off. And so if you can imagine, most kids at 6 a.m., they're not usually rowdy already. And if they are rowdy, it's going to be later on in the day. In regards to the reason my wife was being portrayed as being rude is mainly because of the initial interaction we've had with our neighbors. And I don't want to bring it up since Trish hasn't just yet. So if you guys don't want me to, that's totally fine. I will not
Probably
bring it up.
not the place.
Yeah, okay, it's okay, no worries.
Thank you.
But that is the reason behind why we're a little upset to begin with. Aside from that, we do already have sort of like a petition going on from our street and also Harvest Lane, which is the concerned neighbor of houses that are saying that there is no issue with us having a daycare in the area. So if you guys would like to see that, I do have that as well.
If it's not been brought, sent to staff, then we
Okay,
we
yeah,
can't
no worries at
entertain
all.
that. So
No worries.
do you have any other comments on?
Um,
I do have well, sorry.
No, go ahead.
We'll
If you have
close,
any
nope,
questions.
I can't.
Oh,
I'll ask you
okay.
after public hearing.
Sounds good. Other than that, we are already licensed, as she said, so this is the only thing we're waiting for. If there are any other concerns, we are, of course, welcome to hear them, and if we do need to make some type of accommodation, we're welcome to it, but with it being noise complaint of kids, I find it hard to accommodate that as much as possible, since we can't tape a kid's mouth shut, you know? There's only so much you can do, so it's pretty unreasonable to put down a hammer on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
My name is Leslie Satini. I will be working there with my sister. I will be the second adult. Sorry, I'm just gonna write my name. Okay. With his concern with the noise, we will not have all 16 kids out at once, if that is his concern. Also, we will do our best to try to keep them down as much, and also within the noise ordinance. And it will not be for a long period of time. It will just be for mostly maybe an hour and a half just for them to get their, energy out before nap time. And that will be most likely between 11 and 12. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Anyone online? Okay.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bartholomew and a second by Commissioner Hope to close public hearing. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Just really quick for the applicant. You already told me your hours. Can you step up? You already told me your hours will be from 6 to 5:30.
Yes.
How many children? Will you do the full 16 that's in the application?
Yeah, so it will be up to 16. Obviously, if we can't fill up all 16 spots, then it'll be whatever we have.
Okay,
And then if it's 16, we both adults that are working there do have to be there. So I won't be working as part of the daycare. I'm just here representing my wife.
perfect.
She's out in the lobby if she's needed as well.
Nope. My other question is, what's the age of the children you anticipate?
So
You can have 2 under 2, and then,
so the oldest we will be taking will be, I believe, 5 will be the cutoff.
okay.
So once they turn 5, that'll be the cutoff. So,
So
0 to 4, I guess. would
these
be
are
the best way.
children that before kindergarten and school age?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
of course.
Any other comments or questions?
Just a point of clarification, only because you brought up your hours. As a
6 to 5.
maybe a confidence level, you'll be receiving the children at 6. So just to state the obvious, you'll keep them indoors until
Right, exactly.
after
yeah.
7. Okay,
Yeah.
Beginning at 6, right?
Right.
Okay.
got it. So,
If they go out, it'll, as my sister-in-law said, it would be before nap time, which is 1 p.m.
no, it's wonderful. You pointed that out. I was just making it clear. So
No,
okay.
you're good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions and comments? Are we prepared to? I will make a motion. I make a motion that so do we vote on this, or do we recommend to county council?
Make a motion
We
to
can,
grant.
okay. I make a motion that we grant approval for, CUP 2023-064 with, with the following conditions: that first, the applicant abides by all state requirements and regulations, and second, the applicant abides by Tooele County conditions that have previously been listed in the application.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. So again, this is granting approval for the CUP. Commissioner Knutson,
Yes.
Commissioner Stetz,
Yes.
Commissioner Bartholomew,
Yes.
Commissioner Hope,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion passes. Any other questions or comments or business that needs to come before today? I make a motion, we adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much for your time.
Does the record reflect that I showed up?
No, because your reflection's already here. He introduced himself. You already tried to retire.